Welcome to another lesson by yourtechvision.com, and today I'm going to show you how to do a histogram. This is on Excel 2016. Before, we typically would use columns for histograms, and then of course we would type in our data, but the new Excel of course does this all for us. I'm going to go ahead and Control Home. I'm not going to use my talking software because it competes with my voice, so I will tell you the commands as I move through. Now, another great option with 2016, as long as you're in the cell and I am in A, and A is typically the X axis and B is Y, but depending on how you set up your histogram, those will change, and then I'll show you how to do that. To select all your data, you literally only have to do Control A. No, it does not select the whole sheet. However, if you're outside of your data, if you are in like a D and do a Control A, it will select the whole sheet. So be aware that just Control Home, get on your data, and Control A, and it will select everything. Now we're going to go in and insert, so Alt N for insert, and the histogram is SA. Before, we used to do C, columns. They run up and down. Sometimes teachers will call them bars, but typically bars will go left to right, so just keep that in mind. But we're going to do S and A, and we go to our histogram, and we're going to go ahead and hit enter on that. And it inserts a 3-bin histogram. Each one of these containers is a bin, and it has the amount of students, and the total amount on your horizontal axis automatically goes in there. So the first bin is 25 to 53, the second one is 53 to 81, and the third one is 81 to 109. So let's manipulate this now. So the first part I want to do is I want to go ahead and get rid of the chart title and put in an X title and a. Now, those who do not know this, whenever you insert a picture or a graph or anything additional, you're going to open up Chart Tools, which will add 2 additional tabs to your chart. And so, and your talking software will tell you this if you hit your Alt. When you hit your Alt, and those who are visual immediately see a whole host of letters up in your menu bar, your talking software will say Design JC, so it lets you know where you're at. We do want to go to JC. We've got our chart styles in there also. We also have change colors in there. You also have select data, change chart type, and move chart. If you do not know the commands, if you tab in and just wait for your talking software, it will tell you the hotkey command to move all the way through that. So it's going to be, I already hit my Alt, so now JC, and I'm going to go to A for my chart elements. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go down to my axis titles, and I'm going to hit enter on that. And I want a primary horizontal title, that's going to be my X. Now, if you're using talking software, it will actually access it and just start typing. It will actually come out up here in your formula bar. But because I do not have my talking software on, I literally have to click down here and I have to type in score, and then you hit enter. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is actually get rid of the word chart title. I don't need that. So we're going to do Alt, and we're going to do JC and A for element, and I'm going to go down to my chart title, enter on that, and I'm going to hit enter for none. Now let's go ahead and change the bar colors just in case you want to do that. So we're going to do Alt, and we're going to do JC. Now my colors are H. Once again, if you tab into this, it will tell you where that's at. So we're going to hit H. And as I down arrow, it will actually pick different colors for me. So I can do monochrome, I can do orange, yellows, or whatever. Let's go ahead and just pick orange and hit enter on that. The next one is a chart style. Maybe I instantly want to turn the background. Just know you can hit your right click or applications key in the plot areas, and you can go to your change color also if you want to do it that way. But I'm going to go ahead and go to my chart styles. So I'm going to hit my Alt, JC, and my chart styles is S. I'm going to open that, and as I right arrow through it, I can actually pick different. And your John's Talking software, will say highlight in the background. It'll tell you stripes. It'll tell you dark background. So let's go ahead and go with stripes and an orange background. Might as well go with something really, really different. And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. I have lots of options on that area. You can just continue to down arrow and right arrow and you will find all of those. So what you're going to notice is if you do that after the fact, you're going to notice chart title immediately pops back there. So I actually suggest do the chart styles first, then do your colors, and then do your elements. So now we get to go back to our elements, which is good practice. Alt-J-C. I'm going to hit A for my elements. I'm going to go down to chart titles, which is C. I'm going to go ahead and open that. I'm going to hit N for none again, and of course it disappears. Now let's go into our format and change our format. So let's go ahead and do our alt. Format is JA. Now you can go into many different types of elements if you hit E and on your chart area, and then your whole ribbon changes. So let me go ahead and do that for the visual people so they can see what happens. And then of course you can use your talking software. I'm going to hit E and it says chart area. If I go down, there's my horizontal axis, and I am going to deal with my horizontal axis right now. But I'm going to hit enter, and then visually the whole ribbon changes to all your options for your horizontal axis. I find it's harder to move through all my options through that versus just to format my selection. So I'm going to hit my Alt again and then JA, and then I'm going to go over to Format Selection right here, which is M, and I'm going to hit M. And then my sidebar opens. Now I want to make a big note on this sidebar. If you forget to close it with Control Space and C, it will stay open and you're going to try to go back and re-access it and you will not be able to. But if you can't, it's no big deal. Just hit your F6 and your F6 will immediately pop you over there. But just for ease, I highly suggest closing it every single time you're done. Now we land on Access Options, and I want to go to More Options, and I'm going to tab. I'm going to tell you this is a little hiccup. Right off, visually, it jumped to Text Options. That's exactly what it does, even with your talking software. So just know it's just a particular hiccup in the program. So I'm going to go Shift-Tab one time, and ironically, it goes right back to the More Options where I want to be. And I'm going to hit my space bar. And there are all my options. So I'm going to go ahead and go down, and I want to go to horizontal axis. I want to deal with that. Now visually, you're already looking at plot area, series scores, vertical value axis, and all your other options there. We're just going to deal with horizontal axis right now. So I'm going to hit enter on that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to tab twice, and I get down to my axis options, which I want, and I'm going to hit enter. Now that's not always open. But I've been working within here, so your computer learns from you, so it knows that's where I want to be. I'm going to go ahead and continue to tab, and it says Axis Options. If it's not open, just right arrow and open it. And I'm going to go down here. It has to do with all my bins. Now remember, all these rectangles, tall, nice column rectangles, are bins, okay, or containers. It's on automatic right now. Now, sometimes when you work in your histogram, so don't panic if you're visual, you're going to open it up and it's going to just be one ginormous box. Just know you're going to have to format it, and you're going to want to anyway because your teacher is going to tell you how many bins he wants or she wants in this. So what I want you to do is down arrow. Here's your bin width, so you can actually tell it how wide you want your bin width. But I want to go ahead and go right down to number. Now I'm going to tell you, I just down arrowed and it jumped me back up to my axis options. I just did a major creator update, and I've noticed that this is a little hiccup in the creator update. So once again, if you're in your talking software, you're going to hear axis options. Just tab down. Yeah, it's kind of a pain, but we're just going to do it anyway until the Windows 10 or this version updates again. We're going to go down to your number bins. Once again, you're going to hear that it popped you right back up to Axis Options. Literally just 2 weeks ago, I did not have this issue. So updates, let's just say we love updates. So here I am at number bins, and I have to tell you, only the up and down arrows throw this off. Tab, it works great. So number of bins, I'm going to tab to my number of bins. Well, I'm working with 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, so I want at least 4 bins, so I'm typing in 4. Now we're dealing with number scores here though, so I'm going to go ahead and hit enter on 4, and it actually divides out your number scores. The reason why I chose 4 is because I'm going to go back up to category, and then it's going to take away those number scores in your x-axis, and it will literally have 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade in there. So what you want to do is just up arrow to your, and as soon as I up arrow, just know I'm going to lose focus. So I have to tab, and I go back down, and then I'm going to up arrow to bin. Okay, well, I'm going to have to keep tabbing, or I'm just going to click on category. And now notice down here, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and your scores all come out, and you have 4 bins. Well, let me show you if you don't do category and you do number of bins, and let's just change that to like 6, and it actually gives you more data. So you're just going to have to find out from your teacher how much data does he actually want displayed in this Excel histogram. But it lines it up really, really nicely. Okay, so what I'm going to do is show you a Pareto histogram, and that will show you both bars and line graph, and it's where individual values are represented in descending order by bars, and the cumulative total is represented by the line. Now I also want to tell you is, for those who have done statistics, you know I actually did not order the numbers over here. And I also kept it down to 15 options. Now, the reason why I did not is because you actually don't have to order these. Excel is that smart, it will figure it out. However, your teacher may want to see you order these. So before I change this graph, I'm going to go ahead and go back. I'm going to Control A. I'm going to hit my applications key or right click on it, and sort happens to be O. I'm going to down arrow the long way just so you can see me go through. Sort is right there under O, of course, to jump there fast. And you have sort A to Z, sort Z to A, and a whole bunch of other options there. I'm just going to hit enter on that. And it selects it from the largest. You're going to see when I redo this, 11th is the largest, then 9th, then 10th, then 12th. So we're actually going to go back to our format axis. Now you'll notice I've lost focus of this graph. So you're going to do Control G, you're going to do Alt S for special, and you're going to do Alt B for object. And you're going to hit enter, and it reselects the graph. That often happens, and then of course the blind person is sit there and stuck because they cannot reselect the graph. That's how you do it. So now we need to go back into our format. We need to go in there and we need to change it to category. So we're going to hit Alt and we're going to do JA. We're going to hit M for our format options. So we're going to go ahead, remember, and go through your chart options, and we're going to go down to your horizontal axis right there. And of course, the talking software will continually just tab through that. And then you're always going to go to your axis options here. You're going to tab in, and you're going to go to your axis options, open it up with right arrow, and you're going to go to your category. Now visually, all of this changes. It changes back to 4 bins. If you're visual, you can actually see it. It's not an option when you go to category. But over in the graph, you have 7th, 9th, 10th, and 12th. So you actually have these ordered. And we did it A to Z. You can change your order, of course. You just go over here, go to sort, and change to a different option from Z to A. And then, of course, you get a different 12th, 10th, 9th, 11th. So it just depends on how you actually want to order this. So just keep that in mind. So the next thing we're going to do is you're going to Control G, Alt S to your special, Alt B to reselect, and I want you to delete and get rid of the graph. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do a Pareto so we can get a line and bar graph. Now our data is selected. If it's not, Control Home and go ahead and do a Control A. And we do have our sort by in there. And so let's go ahead and insert our graph. So Alt N, and we're going to do SA. And you're going to go right arrow one time, and the Pareto automatically inserts. What's so great about the Pareto is you actually have the number of students, or number of scores, excuse me, on the left-hand side, and then you have the percentages on the right-hand side. So it immediately gives you a lot more data. It, of course, also gives you the line graph in there. Now, we have set it up in categories, so you have 11th, 12th, 9th, and 10th, and it's in descending order of highest to lowest scores. So the 10th graders did the worst on this test. And it automatically inserts, and you're already going to think, wow, that was fast and clean. It is. Once you actually sort it the way you want it, it automatically inserts there on the 11th, 12th, 9th, and 10th. Okay, let's say you don't want 11th, 12th, 9th, and 10th, and you actually want to put it back to your values, just statistic values of your scores below. Okay, we need to go ahead and we need to go to our format. So Alt and then J, A, and M, remember, is our format selection, and we hit M for format selection, and we go ahead and tab over. We're going to go ahead and tab over. We're going to go to our more options and our horizontal. We need to go to your axis. We need to tab in and open your axis options, and we're going to go down to number of bins. Once again, the down arrow is a recent hiccup in Excel, so we are waiting for an update on that to fix that little hiccup. But what's nice is you have 4 bins, and you also know that that was the grade levels. Now, the advantage of this is you can copy and paste this into Word, so you can have the grade levels here. So you can go ahead and Control-C, literally, on this graph, paste it into Word, and it shows the grade levels there. And then you can go ahead and put in your number bins, and you can paste that into Word. Once again, if your teacher tells you he wants more bins in there to show more data, all you have to do is change the number in your bins. So that's how you do that. Now, you also may want to label this, actually have the numbers within here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back to our Design tab. We're going to hit Alt and we're going to do J, C, and we're going to hit A for our chart elements. Remember, axis, axis titles, chart titles, data labels are right here. Grid lines also, so if you want to add more information, and your legend is here, so you can get rid of that also or change your legend. But let's go ahead and go through these options. The first one is none, which is the default. And we're going to go down and you've got center. What's nice is my bars are a dark blue here. I did not change the color, and it has white font. I can do inside end, which is the top end of the columns. I can do inside base, which is the bottom of the columns, or outside end, and when it changes to outside end, it changes to a dark black. 6, on the first bin. So you can actually decide what you want, and I'm just going to choose center, and I'm going to hit enter on that, and that's how you do data labels also. So that is how you do histograms. You have lots of options there, so always go through all of your chart elements to make sure if you need a chart title, you've got that option, horizontal labels, vertical labels. Like I said, the Pareto, I really love the Pareto because it has the lines, and they do call them bars, but we know it's columns in here. And it gives a lot more data information, your percentages on the right-hand side and the numbers on the left-hand side. Okay, so that's how you do histograms. Have fun and good luck.